dislike for this whole Stop KONY campaign. The reason why that I'm against it is because, well, I think it's a bunch of bullshit.
Critics of the KONY2012 campaign stress that the movement deprives Ugandan people of a voice while simultaneously playing on entrenched racial stereotypes. Many accuse Invisible Children Incorporated of creating a narrative of white do-gooders trying to save Africans from themselves. The campaign makes white activists feel good, but excludes or sidelines African people from the process.
It destroys their sovereignty. It shows that that country themselves, they're not capable of taking care of their own business. It undermines the abilities of people who are from those countries. It makes them look useless, when really that's not true. You know, so much has been done by brilliant activists and scholars, researchers, people who are dedicated to reform, and they are of various African descent, especially.
The westernised representation of the Ugandan story has stirred controversy and upset many Ugandans, as they feel voiceless while others are telling their story. Sarah Weningchak identifies a central symbolic moment in the video. What is perhaps the film's most revealing moment occurs quite early, when the director shows his 5-year-old son a picture of KONY and the survivor Jacob, and explains the situation in childlike terms. The child responds, "Stop him," which is really the entire film in 2 words, on essentially the level of complexity at which it is delivered.
One of the main issues that I really had with this video was the very blatant and visible nature in which it said, we are here and we are the ones that can actually do something about this. It eroded the efforts, seemingly of people like Betty Bigombe in Uganda, who had been working on this issue for years. I think she should have been highlighted in this issue, just like Sorius did in his piece, in terms of her efforts to actually solve this situation on the ground. I think that agency, the fact that the video robbed agency of Ugandans and Africans within the diaspora as well as on the ground to actually solve this situation. It was embarrassing to us, and that's why a lot of
Jason Russell's highly emotive video of a do-gooding, perhaps naive, white, middle-class American, even using his cute little son to literally point the finger at the evil black man.
Yeah, it's I do understand, and I respect Teddy's views a lot, but you have to understand the problem that this video was trying to solve. The problem is that leaders like our own, like Australia's, but around the world, who have the tools to solve this problem. We know the area where KONY is operating. We've known this for a very long time, but the governments in the region don't actually have the capacity to do this themselves. And to move our leaders, this is the kind of problem that they like to ignore. This is not threatening American interests. This is not threatening Australian interests. To move our leaders, we can't just target communities in Africa. We have to target people in America, young people in America, in Australia, in Europe, around the world, who actually have the capacity to move those leaders to act and respond to this.
Travier goes as far as to coin the film propaganda for Western viewers. He believes any African watching it feels very strongly like they're not in the picture. There's no African complexity, and there's certainly no African agency. Ugandan journalist Rosabelle Kagmeyer illustrates how many Ugandans perceive the video as another instance where an outsider is trying to be a hero rescuing African children. Travier agrees that when an individual knows little about a situation, it is easy to project and understand a similar scenario. Alas, the idea of rescuing the helpless African goes back to the 19th century missionary complex. And it is this stereotype that has been employed by Invisible Children.
Actually, because if you're showing me as voiceless, as hopeless, You have no space telling my story. You shouldn't be telling my story if you don't believe that I also have the power to change what is going on.
The argued deprivation of Ugandan voice and incorporation of entrenched racial stereotypes are both factors that demote the credibility of the KONY 2012 movement.